I'm reading this brief part from Anne Carson's The Glass essay, and this part the persona has chosen to call it as the hero, and it's about the persona's father. So it goes like this. I can tell by the way my mother chews her toast whether she had a good night and is about to say a happy thing or not. So, Ma, we'll go. I pop up the toaster and toss a hot slice of pumpernickel lightly across onto her plate. Visit Dad today? She eyes the kitchen clock with hostility. Leave at 11, home again by 4, I continue. She's buttering her toast with jagged strokes. Silence is assent in our code. I go into the next room to phone the taxi. My father lives in a hospital for patients who need chronic care about 50 miles from here. He suffers from a kind of dementia, characterized by two sorts of pathological change, first recorded in 1907 by Alois Alzheimer. First, the presence in cerebral tissue of a spherical formation known as neuritic plaque, consisting mainly of degenerating brain cells. Second, neurofibrillary snarlings in the cerebral cortex and in the hippocampus. There's no known cause or cure. Mother visits him by taxi once a week for the last 5 years. Marriage is for better or for worse, she says. This is the worst. So about an hour later, we are in the taxi, shooting along empty country roads towards town. The April light is clear as an alarm. As we pass them, it gives a sudden sense of every object existing in space on its own shadow. I wish I could carry this clarity with me into the hospital where distinctions tend to flatten and coalesce. I wish I had been nicer to him before he got crazy. These are my two wishes. It is hard to find the beginning of dementia. I remember a night about 10 years ago when I was talking to him on the telephone. It was a Sunday night in winter. I heard his sentences filling up with fear. He would start a sentence about weather, lose his way, start another. It made me furious to hear him floundering. Him, my tall, proud father, former World War II navigator. It made me merciless. I stood on the edge of the conversation, watching him thrash about for cues, offering none, and it came to me like a slow avalanche that he had no idea who he was talking to. Much colder today, I guess. His voice pressed into the silence and broke off, snow falling on it. There was a long pause while snow covered us both. Well, I won't keep you, he said with sudden desperate cheer as if sighting land. I'll say good night now. I won't run up your bill. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye? Who are you? I said into the dial tone. At the hospital, we passed down long pink halls through a door with a big window and a combination lock 5, 25, 3 to the West Wing for chronic care patients. Each wing has a name. The chronic wing is our golden mile, although Mother prefers to call it the last lap. Father sits strapped in a chair which is tied to the wall, in a room of other tied people, tilting at various angles. My father tilts least. I'm proud of him. Hi Dad, how you doing? His face cracks open. It could be a grin or rage. And looking past me, he issues a stream of vehemence at the air. My mother lays her hand on his. Hello, love, she says. He jerks his hand away. We sit. Sunlight flocks through the room. Mother begins to unpack from her handbag the things she has brought for him. Grapes, arrowroot biscuits, humbugs. He's addressing strenuous remarks to someone in the air between us. He uses a language known only to himself, made of snarls and syllables and sudden wild appeals. Once in a while, some old formula floats up through the wash. You don't say, or happy birthday to you, but no real sentence for more than 3 years now. I notice his front teeth are getting black. I wonder how you clean the teeth of mad people. He always took great care of his teeth, my mother looks up. She and I often think two halves of one thought. Do you remember that gold plated toothpick you sent him from Harrods the summer you were in London? She asks. Yes, I wonder what happened to it. Must be in the bathroom somewhere. She was giving him grapes one by one. They keep rolling out of his huge, stiff fingers. He used to be a big man, over 6 feet tall and strong, but since he came to the hospital, his body has shrunk to the merest bone house, except the hands. The hands keep growing, each one now as big as a boot in Van Gogh. They go lumbering after the grapes in his lap. But now he turns to me with a rush of urgent syllables that break off on a high note. He waits, staring into my face. That quizzical look, one eyebrow at an angle. I have a photograph taped to my fridge at home. It shows him World War II air crew posing in front of the plane, hands firmly behind back, legs wide apart, chins forward, dressed in the puffed flying suits with a wide leather strap pulled tight through the crotch. They squint into the brilliant winter sun of 1942. It is dawn. They are leaving Dover for France. My father, on the far left, is the tallest airman with his collar up, one eyebrow at an angle. The shadowless light makes him look immortal, for all the world like someone who will not weep again. He's still staring into my face. Flaps down. I cry. His black grin flares once and goes out like a match.